After taking Game 1 of the 3-game series yesterday, the Springfield Drifters travel north to face off against the Corvallis Knights here at historic Goss Stadium in Corvallis, Oregon. Hello and welcome to Corvallis. My name is Knight Uretsky, your play-by-play man for the Springfield Drifters. And for the first time in franchise history, we're going on the road for this broadcast as we're here in Corvallis, and we made the trip finally, and we got this show on the road. And we're excited for this one. And let's just talk about this game yesterday. We aren't going to have a Tommy Talk today because we had to set up the camera today, and so we didn't get a chance to do the Tommy Talk. So there is no Tommy Talk today. Because we are on the road, another thing that I will say is this is going to be the camera angle for the entire game. We won't have the two camera switching. That is a home feature because of the Pixelot cameras at Springfield, Hamlin Sports Complex. And so this is the camera view that you'll be seeing all night on our feed. You can also, I believe Corvallis is going to have their own stream. I'm not sure if they're going to have a two-camera setup like we do in Springfield, but this is the camera angle that we have. You can look and maybe find Corvallis' camera angle, and maybe you like that more. You turn me up and then have me announcing on their stream potentially. You could have me on the audio and then their video stream, or you can just leave it here and have this for you guys all night. But again, this is what we have for the road, and it's better than radio. We get a little bit of a stream, and we're so happy to be here on the road. And then now let's go ahead and move to today's matchup. Let's go ahead and talk about yesterday's game before we get into today's matchup. But overall, Springfield upset Corvallis yesterday. Corvallis was 12-3 overall. They were sitting at the top. Springfield was just 7-14. They had been spiraling a little bit. They lost 2 games to Walla Walla back-to-back in games 2 and 3 of that series, and they came out against Corvallis, and it really started with Theo Millis on the mound. He threw 7 innings and didn't allow a single run. He got into a little bit of trouble a couple of times, but ultimately it was always him able to work out of the jam, and ultimately he had the 7-score list. Julian Hernandez came into the game in the 8th inning, and then he gave up a solo shot to Kiko Romero, who, by the way, is a phenomenal baseball player. I was reading about Kiko Romero a lot prior to prepping for this series, and I thought, man, 6 home runs in the JUCO World Series. This guy's a power hitter, and really the first time we saw him at the plate, he hit the ball literally about a foot away from over the fence in right field. He ended up going 3 for 4 on the day with that solo shot that he hit in the 8th inning, and that was an opposite field home run too, and so the lefty really just has power everywhere. We'll see him again at first base tonight for the Corvallis Knights, but man, that kid is a very exciting baseball player, one of the top JUCO players in the country, and we're really, really lucky to see him here in the WCL. On the offensive side for Springfield, they were able to score 2 runs in the 3rd inning and 1 run in the 4th. It was an interesting way that they were able to score runs. It wasn't the most traditional way. Cannon Reeder did get a double, but Mac Moyer singled. And it was just a bloop single to left field, and Reeder didn't really read it too well, and he ended up going to third base on that play. Moyer went into second after the throw went in to the cutoff man. And so it was second and third for the Drifters, and then Cannon Reeder scored on a pass ball. Mac Moyer then scored on a ground out from Jalen Ray, and that was the 2 runs that came in the 3rd inning. Really just not a great way to score runs. It was a pass ball and a ground out, but nonetheless, the Drifters got it done. You'd like to see better hitting from Springfield with runners in scoring position, but nonetheless, yesterday the pitching was there, and they held Corvallis just to 1 run. Even if they didn't score another run in the 4th, which they did, it would have paid off in that 3rd inning, rather. In that 4th inning, Cade Chris led it off with a double, and then Taylor Holder singled him home, and that was the last of the 3 runs for Springfield yesterday. Overall, Trevor Anson had a great bounce-back game. He had a 2 for 4 day, improved his batting average to .227. That was his first multi-hit game of the season. Prior to that, he had only had 1 hit in 3 games overall in the year in the 8 games that he had played in, and so it was good for him to get a 2 for 4 day in the start yesterday. Also offensively, Cannon Reeder, 2 for 4 with 2 doubles, and that was a great bounce-back game for him. And now he's playing here today in Corvallis, and this is exciting for him because he'll be playing his collegiate baseball here at Goss Stadium for the Oregon State Beavers. And so for him today, he's playing at his home ballpark, and this is going to be exciting for him because he's an incoming freshman, and so he hasn't officially played some games for the Beavers here yet, and so he's getting to play for the Drifters. And this is a team that he really wanted to play for. He wanted to play for the Corvallis Knights. Ultimately, he ended up getting to go to the Drifters. Corvallis wanted to bring other Oregon State incoming freshmen in, people that weren't necessarily from the state of Oregon, so that they could acclimate them to the college town of Corvallis a little bit easier. That way, Reeder, he was from Bend. He could go to Springfield and play his summer ball here. And so he's now a Drifter and not a Knight. And so today he's get to play against the Knights for the second time, and he'll be in the 9 spot today. And speaking of that, let's go ahead and jump into today's starting lineups. Jordan Advincula, the center fielder today, he'll be leading off again. Spencer Scott going to be the shortstop. Kiko Romero, the first baseman in the 3 spot. He was the power hitter that we were just talking about, 3 for 4 yesterday, and it'll be really exciting to see him play again. Though he is a Corvallis Knight, I think that he is just one of the best players in the WCL, just based on my eyes in this first showing. He's a very talented guy. Briley Knight going to be the DH. He got 1 pinch hit yesterday and got aboard for the Corvallis Knights, and he is a former WCL MVP, is the son of Brooke Knight, the head coach of the Corvallis Knights. And Briley Knight, a very talented baseball player from the University of Portland. He'll be the DH for the Corvallis Knights today. His first start of the year for the Knights, and he'll be in the 4 spot. Titus Dimitru going to be the left fielder today for Corvallis. Xander Darby, we saw yesterday at shortstop. He'll be the second baseman today for the Springfield Drifters. Brady Lavoie going to be in right field in the 7 spot in the order for the Knights. Eli Kennel, the third baseman for the Corvallis Knights, he'll be in the 8 spot. We saw Kennel yesterday at the second base position, and so Corvallis shifting the infield a little bit. Kennel actually the future roommate of Cannon Reeder, and so that's a little bit of an exciting rivalry between the two. I guess yesterday Reeder, he hit one of his doubles, and Kennel was at second base, and Reeder tapped him on the back, and that was just a little bit of the friendly jarring between the two. Tyler Quinn is going to be the catcher today, and Tyler Quinn, despite being a catcher and batting in the 9 spot today for the Corvallis Knights, he has a pretty good batting average overall on the year. It's actually one of the tops on the team. He's actually leading the team in batting average, 320 overall, and that's a catcher right there. And so that's a very, very valuable, a 320 batting average in 11 games so far. And you don't really see that a lot from a catcher, and so he's a good guy to have at that bottom part of the lineup. And maybe Brooke Knight is really thinking about that bottom half of the order, because the hits yesterday seemed to come from the top of the order for the Corvallis Knights. It seemed as they got lower and lower in the order, they definitely tailed off a little bit. In fact, in the top of the order, Advincula had 2 hits, Romero had 3 hits, and Johnstone had a hit, and Dimitru had a hit. So that's a bunch of hits in the top 5 order. That's 7 of the 8 hits they had overall. The bottom half of the order of Darby, Becerra, Lovelace, and Casperson were all hitless. And so I think that they have Tyler Quinn in that 9 spot, trying to really spark the bottom half of the order for the Knights, as they just couldn't get hits at the bottom half of the order, and they couldn't score runs that way. They just had that solo shot from Romero. As we switch sides on the other side, Springfield, their starting lineup, Cole Kleckner going to be in left field, Jalen Ray going to be the shortstop in the 2 spot, Jordan Justice going to DH today, and he's that 3-hole hitter with a lot of pop for Springfield. Jake Dodge going to be reinstated in the lineup today, batting in the cleanup spot. Dodge, just a really, really good hitter for the Drifters, and it seems like every game he's getting a hit. I believe his hit streak's up to 10 games now. Dominic Hellman, a really, really excited guy to watch today. Dominic Hellman was one of the top players from the state of Washington, and he has a bunch of pop. Taylor Holder going to be in right field. Nate Stevens behind the plate in the 7 spot. Trevor Anson, the second baseman, and Cannon Reeder, the center fielder. We're now going to take a break for the national anthem, but that is the pregame show here at Goss Stadium. We look forward to providing you with Drifters baseball on the road. Welcome back from the national anthem, and we got a little rushed reading off the starting lineups, but again, the bottom of the order for the Springfield Drifters. Taylor Holder going to be in right field in the 6th spot. Nate Stevens going to be the catcher today. He'll be in the 7th spot for the Drifters. Trevor Anson, the second baseman today in the 8 hole, and to round out the lineup, it's going to be Cannon Reeder, the center fielder, the incoming Oregon State Beaver, and they're all set to face off against the right-hander in Jesse Barron. He's a right-handed pitcher, 6 foot, 182 pounds, from the University of San Francisco. He's originally from Danville, California, and he's getting the start today for the Corvallis Knights. This is going to be his 4th outing overall on the year, and to say it lightly, he's been flawless so far this year. He has yet to give up a run in 14 innings pitched. In his first 2 outings of the year, he threw 5 innings, allowed 3 hits and no runs the first outing against Yakima Valley. Then he played Yakima Valley again, only allowed 1 hit the second time, 0 runs again, and then he faced off against Bellingham, 4 innings pitched, only 3 hits, 0 earned runs. Cole Kleckner, the left-handed hitter, steps up to the plate, and the first pitch from Barron comes in, a strike, 0-1. The Springfield Drifters today debuting the gray uniforms. They've had the gray jerseys for a while, but this is the first time we actually get to see the uniforms in action. That's a swing and a miss, and it's 0-2 quickly to Kleckner. They are waiting the pants to arrive. They got the jerseys in time about a week ago, but it's taken about another week for the gray pants to come in, and we finally get to see them. The 0-2 misses outside, and it's 1-2 now to the left fielder in Kleckner. The one drawback about the gray pants is every single one of the pants, they're all long, so there's no short pants, so players can't really wear their socks high. As an off-speed comes in from Barron, and it's now 2-2 outside. Of course, you can see Jalen Ray on deck right now. He has his pants actually rolled up so he can see his socks, but a lot of the players weren't happy as Kleckner will go down looking. Barron, an off-speed pitch, rings up Kleckner, and the first out's recorded here in the first.
Now batting for the Drifters, the shortstop, number 2, Jalen Ray.
So bring up Jalen Ray, the shortstop, originally from Australia, went to Central Arizona, and now playing in Springfield, Oregon. The first pitch to the right-handed hitter comes in, and Ray swings at it, and he gets it through the 5-6 hole, and he's aboard with the single. First pitch swinging for Jalen Ray is one of the top hitters on the Springfield team. In fact, every single game he's played in but one, he's had a hit. He had a 1-for-4 performance against Corvallis yesterday, and he's aboard here in the first on the first pitch he saw. So we'll bring up Jordan Justice, the DH today. We've seen him in the outfield, and we've seen him in that DH role, and they like to have the pop in his bat. First pitch to Jordan Justice, misses away, and it's 1-0. Jordan Justice wearing number 36 now. There's been a lot of movement with the numbers for the Springfield Drifters. Of course, a couple of new players got added yesterday with Hellman and Addison Maddox as Justice cuts through the pitch. And it evens at 1-1. But Jordan Justice, he was wearing number 44. They had to give that jersey away. Number 44 is now Ryan Fowler, who had been wearing number 10 because he was replacing Ryan Hayes. But Ryan Hayes is working back from an injury, and he wants number 10. Justice lines this up the middle. It gets through for a base hit. Ray thinking third, and he'll go third easily. The quick Ray goes first to third. Jordan Justice singles up the middle. Back-to-back singles for the Drifters, and they got runners at the corners.
Now batting for the Drifters, the first baseman, number 26, Jake Dodge.
So bring up Jake Dodge, the first baseman for the Springfield Drifters. The left-handed hitter stands in. Justice at first, Ray at third. Barron on the mound, the first pitch to Dodge. He cut right through. 0-1. Jake Dodge, again aggressive, swinging at that first pitch. But how about this stretch for Jake Dodge? Ever since the first game against Cowlitz, that 6-11 loss to the Black Bears, he went 0-1 in that performance. He's had a hit in every single game he's played in since June 8th. Sees the ball really well as a look in and gets called a strike. 0-2 to Jake Dodge. Not a big strikeout guy. He's had 39 at-bats so far this year, only 9 strikeouts. Had his first triple on the season against Walla Walla on June 26. It was that 5-2 loss against the Sweets on Sunday. The 0-2 fouls it back. Dodge right off himself. We'll shake that off, get back in the box. 0-2 the count, 1 out here in the top of the first. Springfield threatening for runs. Dodge this season, only 3 RBIs. You'd expect that to be a lot higher for the cleanup man for the Drifters. The 0-2, outside. 1-2 now to Jake Dodge. It was really fun to watch Dodge hit that triple against Walla Walla on Sunday. Although he did get a little bit of help from the left fielder as it was a ball that kept on dying. The left fielder dove for it and missed it, and it found its way to the wall. So that allowed Dodge to scamper to third. But Dodge will go down swinging. Jesse Barron picks up strikeout number 2 after allowing back-to-back singles. And both outs in this inning have been recorded on the strikeout. 1 looking, now 1 swinging. And this will bring up Dominic Hellman, who's one of the most highly sought-after prospects here in the WCL. Just joining the Drifters for the first time today. The first pitch to Hellman, called the strike, 0-1. Dominic Hellman, originally from the state of Washington, is committed to go play at the University of Oregon. And when I tell you this kid has pop, this kid has pop. Yesterday in batting practice, I think I saw him hit 3 home runs in the first 5 pitches he saw. And now I believe he's going to be called out after a ball came in. It clipped him on the shoulder, but they think that they're saying that it hit him and he intentionally did that. I don't know if it's going to be called an out, actually. Richards is going to go talk to him. I think they might rule it a strike. I've never seen a player actually intentionally try to get hit by a ball, but it looked like Hellman just stuck out the elbow a little bit. The umpire thought it was obvious. I think it's obvious. And either way, Hellman steps back into the box. So I believe it is 0-2. And they put up a 2 on the scoreboard, so it is 0-2. Runners at the corners. Here's the pitch to Hellman. Sends it high in the air, deep to left field, but going back towards the wall and making the catch is Dimitru. And that'll do it for Hellman. A fly out in his first at-bat. 2 hits for the Drifters, but they leave him stranded at the corners. We head to the bottom of the first inning. The Corvallis Knights coming up to bat. You're watching the Springfield Drifters on the road for the first time this season. So happy to bring you baseball here in Corvallis. We'll be back for the bottom of the inning. Bottom of the first inning, Jonah Advincula, Spencer Scott, Kiko Romero, 1, 2, and 3 up for the Corvallis Knights. The right-hander on the mound, Hunter Dryden, and Advincula sends the first pitch deep to left center field. Reeder racing in the alley, makes the catch, and the first out is recorded on the first pitch to Advincula. But man, he sent that one for a ride. 1 out now, nobody on. The wind today is blowing pretty hard out towards left field. In fact, the flag right now is whipping straight out to left field. It's almost as rampant as the wind in Springfield as Spencer Scott steps up to the plate. The first pitch to him, a strike, and it's 0-1. So Hunter Dryden on the mound, the man from Whitworth University. It's up in Spokane. Overall, this is his 5th outing on the year. Second pitch comes in, misses, and it's 1-1 to Spencer Scott, the shortstop. Hunter Dryden, overall an 0-1 record, but he has a 2.45 ERA. His last 2 outings have been scoreless as Scott looks at the pitch, called the strike, and it's 1-2. He's had a unique mix. He's come out of the pen and started this year with the Drifters. He is on a pitch limit for the summer, and so they're doing that to try to utilize him to the best of their ability, try to get some quality starts out of him, as well as getting some quality outings out of the pen. As Scott will get jammed and send this on a flare to right field. Holder over towards the line makes the catch, and the second out is recorded. Back-to-back flyouts from Scott and Advincula.
First baseman now from the University of Arizona. Please welcome number 14, Kiko Romero.
This brings up Kiko Romero, who's second on the Corvallis Knights in batting average, a .302 average. He just hit his 3rd home run of the year yesterday after a 3-for-4 performance, and he'll send one for a ride deep to left field this time, and you can forget about it. Kiko Romero, back-to-back days with home runs, and that was to the same spot to left field. Who cares? He's a lefty hitter. He can go opposite field, and Corvallis takes the lead 1-0.
Well, I thought I'd never be saying this name again, but here it goes. From the University of Portland, your designated hitter tonight, number 13.
So a solo shot for Kiko Romero, and it'll bring up Briley Knight, the DH. First pitch to him, high and away, 1-0. So the solo shot for Romero, his 4th home run on the year, and this will bring up Briley Knight, who is back with the Corvallis Knights. In 2019, he won the WCL MVP. Last year, he was in the Cape Cod, but he's back tonight playing against the Drifters. He'll foul this one back, and it's 1-1 to Briley Knight. He is the son of Corvallis Knights coach Brooke Knight, and he has a very impressive resume. Back in 2019, when he was the MVP of the WCL, he led the Knights in almost every single offensive category as Dryden fires a slider in for a strike, 1-2. He led them in on-base percentage at .460, slugging percentage at .621, total bases at 113, and extra base hits at 29. Overall, he was second in the WCL in batting average and had 8 home runs, but he'll cut through that one. It's a slider that Dryden gets him to swing on, and it's just the solo shot for Kiko Romero. We head to the second inning, Springfield coming up to hit, but Corvallis leads 1-0. You're watching the Springfield Drifters on the road here on the Drifters live stream. Back here for the top of the second inning, the Springfield Drifters currently trailing the Corvallis Knights 1-0 after that solo shot from Kiko Romero. Taylor Holder, the Corvallis native, steps up to the plate. The first pitch to him misses, and it's 1-0. Taylor Holder, very familiar with the Knight family, played at Crescent Valley High School, where Brooke Knight coached and went to high school, as Holder will foul this off, 1-1. So he's back here in his hometown. Played last year for the Yakima Valley Pippins. Played here a couple of times against the Corvallis Knights. In fact, the Pippins played the Corvallis Knights in the WCL Championship. Holder will stay in the box and get hit by a pitch. It's the second time Barron has hit a Drifters batter, but the first time that he'll head to first base. So a runner at first in Holder. Nobody out here in the top of the second. 1-0 Corvallis leads. So we'll bring up Nate Stevens, the catcher. Stevens got the start at DH yesterday, but ultimately it wasn't a great day for him as he swings and misses here. It's 0-1 to Stevens. Yesterday he was in the cleanup spot. He did get a walk, but he struck out once and went 0 for 3 overall. This really hasn't been Nate Stevens' summer ball year. Only a 1.86 ERA with 18 strikeouts. The 0-1. Stevens chops it softly third base side. Coming in his kennel, bobbles it momentarily, but guns it over Romero at first. It advances Holder over to second. Now a runner in scoring position for the Drifters. Brings up Trevor Anson, the second baseman. We mentioned in the pregame, Trevor Anson yesterday, a 2 for 4 day, his first multi-hit game of the season. He's a guy really known for his defense, not really known for his offense. Fouls it back, 0-1. And I say that he's not really known for his offense. I mean that in the terms of his season with the Drifters. Overall, this past year at Seattle, he hit .304 and a total of 92 at-bats. So he definitely has the ability to hit the ball, just hasn't really gotten it together with Springfield. He'll ground this to the right side. Coming in is Darby. He'll flip it over to Romero at first. Anson's retired, but Holder advances over to third. Looked like Anson got jammed up there a little bit too. Jesse Barron, back-to-back batters where he gets soft contact ground outs. It'll bring up Cannon Reeder with 2 outs. A runner at third here in the top of the second. And this is the first time we're broadcasting here on the road. We're so happy to provide you with this content. Infield shifted over to the left side with the right-handed hitter in Reeder. As he looks at a pitch, it's called the strike, 0-1. Scannon Reeder's an interesting player. He's obviously very young, and he's a very raw player. Yesterday, he went 2 for 4 with 2 doubles. Starting to see the slider a little bit better. Slider comes in, misses, and it's 1-1. And I think that was a big part of his struggles, even just talking to his dad, who was in attendance yesterday. Reeder went on a little bit of a slump. In fact, he had 4 straight games he appeared in without a single hit. Team started to figure out he hadn't seen enough sliders as he chases a ball low, and it's 1-2. That's a big adjustment. He goes from high school and Bend, and the high school baseball in Bend is decent, but it's not the greatest baseball, and when you're not seeing guys with quality sliders all the time, it may be hard to try to adjust to it so quickly in the WCL. As the 1-2 to him, grounds it to the left side. Coming in is the shortstop, Scott. He'll throw it over to first and gets Reeder just in time. The Drifters leave a runner stranded at third and Holder. No hits overall. We head to the bottom of the second inning. 1-0 Corvallis leading. You're watching the Springfield Drifters on the road here on the Drifters live stream. Bottom of the second inning, the Corvallis Knights lead 1-0. Hunter Dryden back on the bump for the Drifters as the first pitch comes in. It's a slider that misses. 1-0 to Titus Dimitru. He's the left fielder from Lynn Benton Community College, now playing with the Corvallis Knights. Corvallis leading 1-0 after the solo shot from Kiko Romero as Dryden throws, and that one misses again. 2-0 to Dimitru. Dimitru got the start yesterday on the opposite side of the outfield. He was the right fielder yesterday, went 1 for 4. 2-0 misses from Dryden. It's now 3-0. Dryden trying to find the slider, it seems like right now. He's a guy that heavily relies on his fastballs, but in his last outing where he had a scoreless performance, the slider was working really well. This one runs inside, and it's a 4-pitch walk to Dimitru, and I'll bring up Xander Darby, the second baseman.
At second base for you tonight from UCSB, please welcome number 12, Xander Darby.
So Darby today playing second base. Yesterday he was the third baseman, shortstop for the Corvallis Knights. He had a 1 for 4 day with a single in the 7th. Dryden throws back to first, close play, but in there safely is Dimitru. Still waiting the first pitch is Darby. Darby, a left-handed hitter despite being a right-handed thrower, and he cuts through the first pitch. 0-1 to Darby. Darby overall in the summer, just a 194 batting average. Only has 6 hits overall. 2 of them have been doubles, though, so that's the plus for him. Dryden fires away, and it's 1-1. Runner at first, nobody out. Bottom of the second, Corvallis leading 1-0 after the solo shot from Romero. Back-to-back at bats for him in a Corvallis Knights uniform against the Springfield Drifters, where he has a home run. As Dryden goes back to first again, in there safely is Dimitru. He hit the solo shot yesterday in the 8th to left field, and then he starts his day here with another home run. Just a real powerful hitter. Darby looks at the pitch. It's now 2-1. Darby yesterday got to go up against Julian Hernandez, which was a fun little matchup because those two had played together in Little League. They had played together from 8U till 13U. So a couple of Palo Alto kids got to play against each other here in the WCL. Darby watches a pitch miss from Dryden. It's 3-1. Dryden really struggling to find the zone right now. Hernandez, of course, did win the battle against Darby yesterday. It's a big confidence boost for Hernandez. Hernandez actually picked up the save yesterday, a 2-inning save despite allowing the home run, as this one's fouled off by Darby. Runs full, 3-2. It was the first career save for Julian Hernandez. I was talking with him, and he was really fired up about that. He's normally a starter over at Whitman and hasn't really come out of the pen too much, although that's been his role here with the Drifters. I think he's enjoyed coming out of the pen. But yesterday he picked up the first career save for him. That's quite the accomplishment to have. Here's the 3-2, and that one's high. Dryden walks back-to-back batters. And the first 2 men are aboard here in the bottom of the second for the Knights. Brings up Brady Lavoie.
Now your right fielder, number 23, Brady Lavoie.
So Dimitru over at second, Darby at first. Here's Lavoie. Did not see Lavoie yesterday, but he's getting the start today. The right field position. And times is going to be called by the umpire. Nate Stevens going to go talk things over with Hunter Dryden. It's our first time here in Corvallis. Yesterday it was the first of three games, rather, between these two programs. They're hoping to create a little bit of a rivalry between these two clubs. That's why we have the home, home, and home series. Later on in the year, Springfield's going to be traveling to Corvallis for Game 1 of the three-game set. Corvallis will travel down to Springfield for Game 2, and then Springfield will travel back here for Game 3. As Lavoie showed bunt pulled back, it misses, and it's 1-0. Hellman, who from third base, was collapsing in, but no bunt was laid down by Lavoie. Be interesting to see if Lavoie tries to square one up again. I know for the Drifters in this situation with runners on first and second and nobody out, this is an obvious bunt situation. Lavoie going to show bunt, gets it down inside. Hellman comes in, picks it up, throws it to first. It's close play, but he gets him just in time. Lavoie does his job, advances both runners, and now two runners in scoring position for the Corvallis Knights here in the bottom of the second. Just one out.
Yeah, let's welcome this Beaver to the plate now. Your third baseman, number 8, Eli Kennel.
This brings up Eli Kennel, the third baseman today for the Corvallis Knights. Him and Cannon Reeder, both incoming freshmen at Oregon State, and they're going to be rooming together next year. But today they're competing against each other. First pitch to Kennel, outside, 1-0. Eli Kennel, originally from Monmouth, Oregon. It's just up the road. Lefty stands in, facing off against Hunter Dryden. 1-0, he'll send to left field. It's going towards left field in the corner, and it just goes foul. It's a little hard to see the line from where I am in the press box right now. In fact, the entire back corner is really cut off for me. It's my first time here actually in the press box at Goss Stadium. I will say this, in my limited experience between Springfield and here, I think that Springfield actually has a nicer press box than Goss. Which is a little bit surprising considering this is Oregon State's home baseball stadium. The 1-1 misses, and it's 2-1. The stadium definitely has some really great facilities, especially on the left field side and right field side down the lines. There's some really nice bar sitting areas, perfect for the fan experience. Just wish the press box was a little bit nicer. The 2-1 fouled back, 2-2. In fact, the press box that I'm sitting in right now, the window that is open is actually having to be propped open by a piece of wood. The window's broken here, and there's no air conditioning, so they did provide me with a little bit of a fan. So I'm very grateful for that. Just Springfield, we have windows that work and air conditioning. I think that's a plus for the Drifters. 2-2, sent to center field. Reeder goes back a few steps, but this should be deep enough to score a run. Dimitri races in as the throw goes to third. Into third safely is Darby. And Dimitri comes in on the sac fly by Eli Kennel.
Well, it's the walk-up music that nobody ever gets tired of. From Pacific University, please welcome your catcher, number 5, Tyler Quinn.
Springs up Tyler Quinn, the catcher. Runner at third, 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. It was a sac bunt and then a sac fly for Corvallis to score a run. First pitch to Quinn. Inside, 1-0. Dryden again firing the slider, looking to get it in the zone. Has yet to get control over it. He's given up 2 runs so far after back-to-back scoreless outings. The 0-2 grounded up the middle. Quinn's going to get an RBI single. He leads the Knights in a batting average, and he gets put in the 9 spot today to do exactly that. Hit at the bottom of the order for Corvallis, and he extends their lead 3-0. And the top of the order comes up in Invicula.
And game 2, here we go from the University of Redlands, your center fielder,
So Quinn stands at first. Advincula at the plate, 0 for 1 today with a fly out to left. It was a hard hit ball by Advincula, but ultimately Reeder raced it down in the alley. First pitch misses outside, and it's 1-0 to Advincula. It's been a 2-run bottom of the second for Corvallis after they led 1-0 after the first. Dryden goes back to first. In there safely is Quinn. Still awaiting the 1-0 is Advincula. Advincula from the University of Redlands. Teammates with James Boone there. Swing and a miss from Advincula. It's 1-1. The bullpens today here at Goss Stadium are all the way in left field. I know the pitchers, they were complaining a lot. It was quite the trek from the dugout, which is on the first base side, all the way to the bullpen, which is in deep left field. Advincula watches the pitch miss, and it's now 2-1. Because of the way the bullpen is here, there's just a little bit of a window. There's the wall, and then there's a little bit of a window, and then there's another banner on top that says Home of the National Champions with the 3 College World Series trophies printed on there above them. And so you just get a little bit of a window to see who's warming up in the bullpen. The 2-1 to Advincula, called to strike. It's a delayed steal, and Quinn gets there safely to second. No throw from Stevens. I'm not even sure he realized that he took off. But 2-2's the count to Advincula, and there's a runner in scoring position now for the Corvallis Knights. Hunter Dryden, originally from Deer Park, Washington. Stayed close to home, goes to school in Spokane. Now playing for the Drifters, trying to get out of the inning. The 2-2 runs inside. Count is full. Already 3 runs for Corvallis after they only scored 1 yesterday. Already a better start to today. Maybe a little extra motivation trying to show them who's boss. Advincula gets jammed up. Softly center field. Reeder racing in. He can't get there. He jumps for it. It's off his glove. He'll throw it to second, but coming in to score is Quinn. It's an RBI single for Advincula, and the lead's extended 4-0 for Corvallis. Hunter Dryden continues to not be able to get out of this inning, and now a mound meeting is going to be happening. Keith Hessler going to go talk things over with Dryden as the infield comes in as well. It's been a tough inning for Hunter Dryden. He walked the first 2 batters. It was a 4-pitch walk to Dimitru. Then Darby walked on a 3-1 count. Lavoie then sack bunted them into second and third. Kennel flew out to center field for an RBI sack fly. Then Quinn singled home Darby. And now Advincula singles in Quinn after he had a delayed steal to put him in scoring position. 3 runs overall in the inning for the Corvallis Knights. Just 2 hits. The meeting breaks. Hessler goes back to the dugout. Dryden's still on the mound, and he's set to face off against Spencer Scott, the shortstop. I think the other big thing in this outing for Hunter Dryden is he only has 1 strikeout so far, and that's to Briley Knight. The guy that really gets a lot of strikeouts is the first pitch to Scott is grounded to Jalen Ray at shortstop. He'll flip it over to Anson at second, and they get the runner in Advincula. But 3 runs come in on just 2 hits for the Corvallis Knights. They're able to extend their lead. They lead 4-0 after 2. We head to the third. Springfield coming up to hit. You're watching the Springfield Drifters on the road here on the Drifters live stream. Top of the third inning, the Springfield Drifters up to bat. Cole Kleckner, the leadoff man, stands in for the second time as the first pitch to him misses away 1-0. Barron still on the bump for the Corvallis Knights. He's only allowed 2 hits, both of them coming in the first inning, as the second pitch misses to Kleckner 2-0. Last inning, he walked Taylor Holder to start, but got 3 straight groundouts on weak contact to get the 3 outs. Holder was left stranded at third. Kleckner will ground it towards the right side. Darby, the second baseman, picks it up, throws it quickly to get the speedy Kleckner, and the first out is recorded here in the third. 4 straight batters for the Springfield Drifters, all grounding out. And I'll bring up Jalen Ray, who's 1 for 1 with the single. We mentioned the 2 hits. He was one of them. Barron winds, and here's the first pitch. Ray hits it towards right field. Coming in a few steps is Lavoie. He'll make the catch. Ray's retired, and there's quickly 2 outs here in the top of the third. 4-0 Corvallis leading after a 3-run second and a 1-run first. It's a different story from yesterday where the Knights were scoreless through the first 7 and only got 1 run overall in the 8th inning on a solo shot. First pitch to Jordan Justice, in there for a strike, 0-1. Jordan Justice also 1 for 1. He singled back in the first. The Drifters had runners on the corners with just 1 out. They couldn't score a run. As Justice rips through that one, a slider got him swinging. It's 0-2 to the DH. Seems like that's been the story this year. They've gone a runner at third, but it seems like a strikeout will prevent them from scoring, and a strikeout will get Jordan Justice here. 3rd strikeout overall for Jesse Barron. It's a quick 1-2-3 inning. We head to the bottom of the third. 4-0 Corvallis leads. You're watching the Springfield Drifters here on the road on the Drifters live stream. Bottom of the third inning. 4-0 Corvallis leads after a 3-run second and a 1-run first. Hunter Dryden on the mound, and here's Kiko Romero. First pitch swinging last time up, and he'll watch the first pitch. And it's 1-0 after the pitch misses outside. Romero continued the momentum that he picked up yesterday after a 3-for-4 performance with a home run. Sent the first pitch over the left field wall. He'll ground this one towards the right side. Anson comes in, fields it on 2 hops, and throws it over to Dodge at first. Romero's retired, and he'll bring up Briley Knight, the DH.
Finally, here's walk-up song now. Here comes your designated hitter from the University of Portland, number 13, Briley Knight.
So here's Briley Knight, the DH. His first start back with the Corvallis Knights. He'll show bunt, bunts it foul, and it's 0-1 to Briley Knight. So we mentioned it. He's originally from Corvallis. His father, Brooke Knight, was the head coach of the Corvallis Knights. He goes to the University of Portland, but he originally went off to Utah before becoming a pilot. Off speed from Dryden misses, and it's 1-1. He had 28 starts his freshman year at Utah in 2019. Then COVID happened during his sophomore year, and he ultimately transferred to Portland. This one misses, 2-1. Overall, in his 2 years in Portland, he hit .247 in 45 games. This past year, just 10 starts and a .263 batting average. Dryden throws outside, and it's now 3-1 to Briley Knight. He was teammates at Crescent Valley High School with Taylor Holder. Crescent Valley just north in Corvallis. Knight gets rolled up. He'll ground it to Dodge at first, and he'll tap on first. Then Knight is retired for the second time today. I'll bring up Titus Dimitru, the left fielder.
That brings a road runner to the plate now. Your left fielder, please welcome number 15, Titus Dimitru.
2 outs, bottom of the third inning. Hunter Dryden's got the first 2 outs, and here's Dimitru, and look at this shift they have on him. Trevor Anderson, the second baseman, standing just about above the second base bag, well shaded to the left as the first pitch from Dryden misses, and it's 1-0. The infield on the left side, Jalen Ray, the shortstop, is actually standing in the turf right now. A little bit of a power shift as this one misses to Dimitro, and it's 2-0. 4-0 Corvallis leads. Dryden looking for his first scoreless frame after getting the first 2 batters out. Here's the 2-0. Again, Dryden trying to find that slider, and it's not working. 3-0 as it misses high. Which really hasn't been his night. Shakes his head a couple of times. Now he'll wind. Here's the 3-0. And that one gets past Stevens. It's a walk, 4-pitch walk to Dimitru. And Titus Dimitru has stepped up to the plate twice today. Both times he's seen 4 balls. Let's make it ball 8 against Dimitru. And it'll bring up Xander Darby, the second baseman. So runner at first, 2 outs. Bottom of the third, 4-0 Corvallis leads. Dryden set. Here's the first pitch to Darby. Slider high. 1-0. High throw from Stevens on the way back. Dryden able to catch it. There is action in the Drifters bullpen. Dryden in that last game, he was really, really good, especially in the non-league play. So he'll throw in a pitch that's fouled back. And the last game that he played in, there was a play where a batter grounded the ball up the middle. Dryden tried to barehand it. Ended up getting past him. Sheehan O'Connor barehanded it and then threw it to first. It was an impressive play for Sheehan O'Connor, and I asked Dryden afterwards, did they get mad at you for trying to barehand the ball as a pitcher? And he actually said no. Pitch comes in and misses, and it's 2-1. They said for him, he's a two-way guy, plays both offense and pitches, although we haven't really seen him in the field since the first series overall against Cowlitz. Played a little bit against Bellingham, actually, in the very first series up in Bellingham. The first home series against Cowlitz, he got the first Game 1 start at second base. Since then, he has not played in the field. This one misses to Darby. It's 3-1. Darby had a 3-1 count the last time he was up, and he ended up walking. Dryden trying to get out of the inning. He'll come set at the waist. He'll fire in a pitch that swung on and missed, and the count is full. To close that story, because he was a two-way guy, they weren't as mad with him. Although, for some of these other guys that are probably pitchers only, they probably yell at them a little bit for trying to stick out that pitching hand on a barehanded ball grounded up the middle. 3-2. Misses outside, and that's a walk for Darby. 2 men are aboard for the Corvallis Knights. Darby aboard on the walk for the second time. Moves Dimitru over to second, and he'll bring up Brady Lavoie.
Yeah, that's 2-3 up now. Your right fielder from NC State, it's Brady Lavoie.
So here's Brady Lavoie, the right fielder from North Carolina State. Member of the Wolfpack. First pitch into Lavoie, and he swung right through that. That looked like a lazy swing from Lavoie. It seemed like he got absolutely fooled. It was nowhere close to that ball and making contact. 0-1 though to Lavoie. Hansen covering at second with the right-handed hitter in Lavoie. The 0-1 misses. Similar spot as last pitch, and it's 1-1. The outfield also shifted a little to the left. Reeder standing in left center. The flag continues to whip straight to left field. The 1-1 sent out towards left center field. Reeder goes back a few steps, makes the catch, and he was perfectly positioned on that one. 2 runners are left stranded. No hits in the inning for Corvallis. We head to the fourth. 4-0 the Knights lead. You're watching the Springfield Drifters here on the Drifters live stream. Top of the fourth inning, 4-0 Corvallis leads as the first pitch to Jake Dodge. He reaches for and whiffs at 0-1 to the first baseman. Dodge, his first time up, struck out swinging. He was the second strikeout victim to Jesse Barron, as Barron gets him to ground out to the first baseman, Romero, and Dodge will head back to the dugout. So this brings up Dominic Hellman for the second time. Hellman, of course, one of the top players in the country. He was an All-American from the state of Washington, and that rarely happens. Third baseman up for the second time after flying out, and he'll send one deep to left field. Having a little bit of trouble is Dimitru, but he finally finds it in the sun, catches it near the track, and Hellman's retired on a first pitch swinging from him. It's not the start we'd like to see from Dominic Hellman, who was a guy that the Drifters had been waiting for a while. But he's 0 for 2 to start, and the Drifters get 2 quick outs, and Jesse Barron's really finding a groove right now for Corvallis. First pitch to Taylor Holder, looked at, called a strike. 0-1. So we mentioned it, Jesse Barron, originally from Danville, California, goes to the University of San Francisco. He was a starter there, started 10 games this past year as Holder watches the 0-1 outside, 1-1. Overall, he finished with a 4-4 record. He had a 6.12 ERA. Holder watches a pitch miss low, and it's 2-1. He did throw one complete game this season. It was against Pepperdine. So he definitely has the stuff to go deep. Right now, he's been almost perfect. 3-1 the count now to Taylor Holder as that pitch missed. In fact, since the first inning and since allowing back-to-back singles to Jalen Ray and Jordan Justice, he has yet to give up a hit. He gets Holder to cut through that one, and it's 3-2. The only batter to reach since then was Taylor Holder, who's at the plate. He walked. That was back in the second. But since then, he's had 8 up, 8 down. Holder will line it up the middle. It gets down, and that ends that hitless streak for the Drifters. Holder aboard for the second time today, and it puts a runner at first with 2 outs. So bring up Nate Stevens, who continues to be slumping for the Drifters. His first time up, he grounded out to the second baseman, Darby, and it was just a dribbler. He has yet to get a lot of hard-hit balls this season. And he'll cut through that one, chasing a ball away from Barron, and it's 0-1. Aaron this year has yet to give up a run, and so far he's through 3. Looking to go through 4 scoreless. They'll throw back to first. Holder in there safely. Holder's not the fastest guy, but he is a little bit of a quick guy. Hasn't had many stolen base opportunities as Stevens will send this towards left field. Racing over is Dimitru, and he'll catch the ball in the alley. And that'll do it for the top of the 4th inning. Holder's left stranded at first after that 2-out single. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th inning. 4-0 Corvallis leads. You're watching the Springfield Drifters here on the Drifters live stream.
Tonight's Benton County Schools Credit Union Junior announcer is going to be Renna, and she's going to be calling up the Knights to bat this inning. Compliments of Benton County Schools Credit Union.
Bottom of the 4th inning, and it's a new pitcher on the mound for the Springfield Drifters. Hunter Dryden's day is over, and it'll bring in Trevor Barth, the right-hander from Grays Harbor College. First pitch swinging from Eli Kennel, and it's 0-1. Kennel up for the second time today after flying out for an RBI sac fly back in the second. He sent that one to his future roommate in Cannon Reeder. The 0-1 from Barth, grounded towards the right side. Dodge fields it. He'll go tap on first base. And the first out's recorded here in the fourth. So bring up Tyler Quinn, the catcher. So Barth comes into the game after Dryden went 3 innings, allowed 3 hits, 4 earned runs. He walked 4 batters and only struck out 1, and I think that was a big thing for Hunter Dryden. He's a big swing and miss guy, gets a lot of movement on his fastballs, and when the slider's working, it's working. Pitch misses, and it's now 1-0 to Tyler Quinn. And today, the slider just really wasn't working for Hunter Dryden. He struggled to locate it, and we saw 2 4-pitch walks to Dimitru, and that was a real big thing for Corvallis to score some runs. As Quinn sees a pitch inside, and it's 2-0 from Barth. Wasn't his strongest outing of the year, and I think if you go and talk to him, he wouldn't be too high on himself. As Quinn cuts through that one, it's 2-1. So in comes Barth. Saw him overall start the year against Cowlitz in that 4-2 victory against the Black Bears. Went 5 and only allowed 3 hits. He had another scoreless outing against Bend in his last time out. As the pitch comes in as a strike. 2-2 to Tyler Quinn. Barth, though, did get lit up against Wenatchee. He allowed 10 hits in 2 1/3. 7 runs came in, only 3 were earned. Quinn will send this towards right. It's slicing foul, and Holder makes a diving play in right field. Oh, my goodness. Wow. I did not think he had a chance at that one, but Holder was able to dive full body, laid it down the line, was able to make the catch in right. Impressive play for Taylor Holder. The Corvallis native in the second out is recorded here in the fourth. Here's Jonah Advincula. Right now, Corvallis has their junior announcers. The first pitch misses away, 1-0. The junior announcer is where they bring in a kid to read the names for the hitter. They have them do the PA announcing, and Advincula is a hard name to try to say, and it took him a little bit to try to say it. As the 1-0 comes into Advincula, misses. 2-0. So Barth, this is his 4th outing on the year. He was a starter initially, but now they're putting him in the pen. That's what happens when you have a bullpen that's as filled as Springfield's. 3-0 now to Advincula. And although the bullpen right now is pretty loaded, soon the bullpen's going to be a lot thinner. A lot of guys leaving in the next couple of weeks. It'll be interesting to see how the numbers change. 3-0 in there for a strike, and it's 3-1. We've already had a few numbers change in the past 2 games because Dominic Hellman and Addison Maddox came to the team now. 3-1, popped out in the infield, slicing into foul territory. Hellman makes the catch, and that'll do it for the 4th inning. 3 up, 3 down, including an impressive diving catch in right from Taylor Holder. We head now to the 5th inning. Corvallis leads 4-0. You're watching the Springfield Drifters here on the Drifters live stream. Top of the 5th inning now. The Springfield Drifters coming up to bat. Again, thank you guys for joining us here on the road for the first time this year. It's the first pitch to Ranson. Misses 1-0. Again, this is the only camera angle that we're going to have on the road this season. It is great, though, that we get to provide a live stream and not just audio. As Anderson will ground this towards the left side, fielding it as Kennel, the third baseman. He'll throw over to first and gets Anderson to ground out. First out is recorded here in the top of the 5th. This brings up Cannon Reeder. And we got a comment talking about the shade profile up the first.
Introduce some people to the ballpark tonight over in the Hotel Corvallis Omaha room. Easy for me to say. Is Greater Corvallis Rotary. Let's get away from the people over there. There you go, waving. You're looking the wrong way. Look to your left. Over here. There you go. Nice to see you. In the TNT Builders party deck, it's Visit Corvallis. You're already here. Just so you know. Hey, there you go. Hi.
I think we're back now, and we apologize for the technical difficulties. We went offline just as I was saying. We're so glad to be here and being able to broadcast on the road. The OSU Wi-Fi actually just went out, and so I had to restart everything. I had to re-sign on to the Wi-Fi, and hopefully this will work for the remainder of the broadcast. We apologize for that. That literally happened out of nowhere. We were having a perfect stream up until then, and that was the first time that the Wi-Fi had really crashed on me, so hopefully that doesn't happen again. I've never had the Wi-Fi crash on me in Springfield, so that's what I can say about that. But just to catch you up, Trevor Hansen grounded out, Cannon Reeder grounded out, and then Cole Kleckner flew out to the catcher, and it was a 1-2-3 inning for the Drifters with no runs in the top of the 5th. And we're back here in the bottom of the 5th now, as Trevor Barth is back on the mound. 4-0 Corvallis leads. It was a 3-run second after a 1-run first. And Bart, the right-hander, comes set. First pitch to Spencer Scott. He'll show bunt, gets it up the third base line. Barth fields it. He'll throw to first, and he gets Scott by a half a step. And the first out is recorded here in the 5th. So again, we apologize for dropping out momentarily, and hopefully we're all good for the remainder of the game. Here's Kiko Romero, the first baseman, 1 for 2 today, and he had that solo shot in the first, his 4th home run overall in the year. As the first baseman comes up again and fouls it back close to me. I actually think here at this ballpark, I may be actually able to catch a foul ball. That one was about 5 feet left of me, left of the booth. I'm in the far booth on the left side, and that was 10 feet to the right. I think that one would have came in here as Romero grounds it to Dodge at first. He'll tap on first, and the second out is recorded. Back-to-back infield groundouts for the Corvallis Knights. Second out recorded in bottom of the 5th as the Knights lead 4-0. So here's Briley Knight again. His return to the Corvallis Knights, and it really hasn't been great for him. A strikeout and a ground out. As we'll watch the first pitch, miss, 1-0. And he was the MVP of the WCL back in 2019. He was going into his sophomore year at Utah then. This pitch misses, 2-0. Last year played in the Cape Cod League, and now he's back with Corvallis. This has been his first series overall in the year. The 2-0 to him. Misses. It's now 3-0 to Briley Knight. He had 42 RBIs while hitting 357 in the WCL in 2019. And that's a 4-pitch walk. All close pitches, but Barth couldn't get a strike called, and it'll put a man aboard with 2 outs in the 5th.
That'll bring 1-5 up to the plate now from LBCC. Here's your left fielder, Titus Dimitru.
So here's Titus Dimitru up for the 3rd time today, and we'll see if he gets a strike thrown to him. So far, in his 2 at-bats, he's had 8 balls thrown to him. He's yet to lift the bat off his shoulder. First pitch, Dimitru, off speed, called a strike. 0-1, so Barth gets back into this at-bat. 2 outs, bottom of the 5th, 4-0, Corvallis leads. Second pitch comes in, and it's a strike, 0-2. So we mentioned it, Dimitru played at Lynn Van Community College, and that's right down the road. Literally, you go down the 34 highway, you turn left about halfway before you get to the 5 freeway, and you'll run right into the LBCC campus. The 0-2 sent high in the air in foul territory. Jake Dodge, the first baseman, calling it off. He'll make the catch in foul territory, and the bottom of the 5th is over. Just a 1-runner in Briley Knight on a 2-out walk. We head now to the 6th inning. 4-0 Corvallis leads. You're watching the Springfield Drifters on the road here on the Drifters live stream. Top of the 6th inning, 4-0. The Corvallis Knights lead the Springfield Drifters. Jalen Ray, Jordan Justice, Jake Dodge due up. Facing off against a new right-handed pitcher, it's Neil Feist. First pitch to Jalen Ray comes in as a strike, and it's 0-1. Feist will come in after replacing Jesse Barron, who went 5 innings, only allowed 3 hits. 2 of the 3 hits were in the first. He really settled in, walked only 1 batter, and struck out 3. As Ray will ground this to the second baseman, Darby, who picks it up, throws it over to Romero at first, and Ray is retired. 1 for 3 day for Jalen Ray after singling in the first, as the first out's recorded here in the 6th. Nobody on, 4-0 Corvallis leads. Jordan Justice the DH now. First pitch to Justice. Slider in there for a strike, 0-1. So again, Jesse Barron, his 4th outing of the year, and he has yet to give up a run this season for the Corvallis Knights. Another impressive performance for the right-hander from San Francisco. Justice fouls this one away, and it's 0-2. Jordan Justice today, 1 for 2 with a single back in the first. He was one of the 2 hits in the first, but struck out swinging in his last at-bat. The 0-2. Justice just gets a piece to that one. We'll have another 0-2 pitch. So Neil Feist is the new pitcher on the mound for the Corvallis Knights. 6'3", 215 pounds, from El Camino College, originally from Torrance, California. The 0-2, Justice sends this towards the alley in right field deep. Going back is the right fielder, Lavoie, and near the track he'll make the catch just in the sunshine as the shade continues to creep from first base into center field. But Jordan Justice flies out, and the second out's recorded here in the 6th. This brings up Jake Dodge now. First pitch to Dodge, in there for a strike. 0-1. Alrighty, I think we're back on again, and the Wi-Fi one more time dropped out. It's the second time that it's happened to us, and then it took us a while to get back on air, and so we're hoping, again, that this will remain on air for the remainder of the game. There's been a lot to catch you up with. Right now, 6-0 Corvallis leads as the first pitch misses to Tyler Quinn, and it's 1-0. So Trevor Barth was in the game. I ended up getting pulled after he allowed a single to Xander Darby and a 2-run shot to Brady Lavoie here in the bottom of the 6th. They took him out and they put in Trevor Hammond, the left-hander. And now Hammond has to work with the runner at first after Eli Kennel singled. And now Tyler Quinn at the plate. 2-0 the count to the catcher Quinn, who's 1 for 2 today with an RBI single back in the second. But Hammond comes in for Barth. Trevor replacing Trevor. The 2-0 as the runner goes outside. Stevens guns it to second, but in there safely is Kennel. It's 3-0 the count to Tyler Quinn now, and a runner in scoring position for the Corvallis Knights. And Tyler Quinn, who currently leads the Corvallis Knights in batting average at the plate. Hammond has yet to fire in a strike. Again, we apologize for all the technical difficulties that we're dealing with. As the pitch is in there for a strike on the 3-0 pitch. Quinn doesn't get the green light. 3-1 now. A lot different than yesterday, where the Drifters were leading for a majority of the way. 6-0 Corvallis. And Quinn's aboard with a walk. So Kennel at second, Quinn at first, and here is the top of the lineup for the Corvallis Knights. Advincula now at the plate. Always a fun one to say. Advincula today, though, had an RBI single back in the second. Since then, he's flown out. 1 for 3 day. Showed bunt, pulled back, and the pitch misses. 1-0 from Hammond. Trevor Hammond, this is his 5th outing overall in the year, has yet to allow a run for the Springfield Drifters. In his 4 outings, he's gone 1 inning 3 of the times and 2 innings 1 of the times. The hit that he gave up back to Kennel was his first one that he gave up in 2 games. Advincula hits this towards right field. It gets down on a line. Holder fields it on one hop. He'll throw it in. The runner's going to stay at third, and the bases are loaded for the Corvallis Knights. So Kennel held at third. Quinn goes to second. Advincula at first after his second single of the game. And here's Spencer Scott, the shortstop. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th. Already 2 runs have come in for Corvallis as they're threatening for more. Hammond in the game trying to limit the damage. Corvallis really laying it all out here against Springfield after losing to them yesterday. Pitch in there for a strike. 0-1. Trevor Hammond, he's originally from Ventura, California. Ended up finding his way up to Springfield, well, because he's going to go play his collegiate baseball in Springfield. Be a Bushnell Beacon next year under Richards. Pitch misses, and it's 1-1 now to Spencer Scott, who today 0 for 3. Couple of Portland Pilots on this Corvallis Knights team, and Scott's one of them. Riley Knight, the DH today, is back in the lineup for Corvallis, also a Portland Pilot. Scott looks at the pitch. It's called a strike, and it's 1-2. Really good turnout today here in Corvallis. I think there's more fans here today than I've seen in Springfield at any game so far this season. A little bit understandable, though. Corvallis, an established franchise. Springfield in their first year in WCL play. The 1-2 to Scott. Fouled off. We'll see another pitch. The shade continues to creep from the first base line all the way into center field. Pretty much all of right field is covered in shade right now. Left field, a little bit of shade from the stands on the left side, but there is a bunch of sun in the center field side. 1-2 the count, bases loaded. Spencer Scott at the plate. Here's the 1-2. Curveball runs away. 2-2. It's been the problem today for Springfield. A lot of off-speed pitches missing. Got to think about Hunter Dryden, who had walked 4 batters, and a lot of those pitches on those 4 walks were sliders that he just couldn't locate. Corvallis, for granted, has done a great job. Their plate vision today. Here's the 2-2. Grounded left side. It gets through. 1 run scores. They wave another. He'll score. Throw comes to the plate. The runner in Advincula goes to second. It's a 2 RBI single for Spencer Scott, and the Knights extend their lead. It's 8-0.
Well, we don't get the music, but we do get the man, your first baseman now from the University of Arizona. Please welcome number 14, Kiko Romero.
Still nobody out here in the 6th. 4 runs have already come in for Corvallis. This is the man that you really don't want at the plate. It's Kiko Romero. 1 for 3 today, but had that solo shot to left field. His 2nd home run in 2 days. 4th overall in the season. First pitch to Romero, off speed, misses high. Hammond can't locate it. 1 ball, no strikes. Looks like a righty warming up in the bullpen for the Drifters. Hammond's allowed his first run so far on the season. Runners are going to go. The pitch comes in. It's called a strike. No throw from Stevens, as it's a double steal for Advincula and Scott.
The Knights, All-Pro, and Pape will be donating $10 to community outreach.
So the rich get richer. A double steal puts 2 runners in scoring position for the Corvallis Knights. Kiko Romero, their 3-hole hitter at the plate as they lead 8-0. Romero grounds it foul, first base side, 1-2. This really hasn't been Springfield's day. 3 hits overall in the game, and 2 of them came back-to-back in the first inning with Ray and Justice getting aboard. They had runners at the corners, just 1 out. Dodge struck out, and Hellman flew out. Since then, it's just been all downhill for Springfield. They've been retired in order except for Taylor Holder, who had reached on a single. Fouled off by Romero, and he'll see another pitch. 1-2 the count. Kiko Romero second on the Corvallis Knights in batting average, entering today, the .302 average. Just showed up to the team after winning the JUCO World Series with Central Arizona. Went on a tear in the postseason. 12 home runs in the postseason run for Central Arizona. The 1-2 inside on Romero. It's 2-2. It's originally from Tucson. He's going to go play next year for his hometown Wildcats. So he didn't get the offer right out of high school, chose to go play JUCO ball at Central Arizona. Now finally gets to play for the D1 Arizona Wildcats. Pitch misses, and it's now full to Kiko Romero. He's done a great job battling in this at-bat. Still nobody out. Runners at second and third for the Corvallis Knights. Bottom of the 6th inning. 4 runs have already come in as they lead 8-0. Romero looks at a pitch, and he's aboard with a walk as it misses low and inside. We've seen 7 batters come up to the plate. Still no outs. And Corvallis has scored 4 runs, and they have the bases loaded, and it looks like we're getting a pitching change here. Hammond's day is over as he can't even record an out. We'll step aside and take a break, find out who the new pitcher is when we come back. Drifters trail 8-0. You're watching Springfield here on the Drifters live stream. Bottom of the 6th inning, and we're back. It's a new pitcher on the mound for the Springfield Drifters. It's the right-hander Daniel Furman. He'll replace his future teammate and Trevor Hammond, who saw 5 batters, allowed 3 hits, and walked 2. As the first pitch from Furman gets behind Stevens, but Stevens able to corral it before the runner at third and Advincula could come in. Still bases loaded, 1-0 in the count to Briley Knight, the former WCL MVP, who today is just 0 for 2 with a walk in his last at-bat in the 5th. Still nobody out, bases loaded. Advincula at third, Scott at second, Romero at first. 1-0 grounded to the right side. Dodge comes in. He'll go to second. He'll get the out there. Ray goes to first. They only get the one out there. They throw back to third, but in there safely is Spencer Scott. It's an RBI ground out as Advincula comes in to score. So 1 out. Runners at the corners after Knight reaches on the fielder's choice. Brings up number 15, Titus Dimitru. Dimitru today 0 for 1 with the flyout, but he's walked twice. His walk in the second inning was really what spurred that 3-run second for the Corvallis Knights. As the pitch misses 1-0 from Furman. So we finally get our first out in the inning. And it's Romero out at second on a fielder's choice. It took 8 batters before the Drifters could get out number 1. 1-1 now after Furman fired a strike. Daniel Furman, the pitcher from Bushnell. He'll be gone from the team in about a week or so. Sunday is going to be his last game. That'll be up in Yakima. Initially, he was going to have some time to rehab his back as he throws an off-speed that misses. 2-1 now. But Furman, he was initially going to be rehabbing from a back injury. His back's feeling fine right now, but he has a job lined up, and so he's going to go home and work, make some extra money. Hoping to get him down to come in, do color commentating a few times, as this one's laced deep to left field, and it's off the wall. Dimitru drives in 1 run. Heading to third is Briley Knight. It's an RBI double from Dimitru, and the Drifters continue to struggle to get out of this inning.
Brings up your second baseman now from UCSB, number 12, Xander Darby.
So they batted through the order now. So bring up Xander Darby, who led off this inning with a single. Dimitru standing at second, Knight at third. 10-0 Corvallis leads after the 6th-run bottom of the 6th. Yesterday, the story was the Drifters pitching. Today, not successful at all. Darby fouls off the first pitch, 0-1. Furman has the second worst ERA on the team right now, a 12.00 ERA. A lot of that comes from a 4-run performance he threw against Wenatchee. It's only his 4th outing overall, but in the other 2 outings, they were scoreless. Off speed away, and it's 1-1 now to Darby. So far, has only allowed a double. Second time for him throwing here at Goss Stadium is the 1-1 swing and a miss. 1-2 to Darby. Threw here 1 time before. He was at Loa Columbia College. And there they were playing Lynn Benton in a fall game. He came here and said that was the game that made him lose his curveball. Said he came here, threw the curveball, and he got lit up. Darby fouls it off, stays alive, 1-2 the count. Said he didn't want to say he got the yips for a curveball, but he basically got the yips for a curveball. Has since not thrown the curveball in any of the games that he's appeared in. I think just getting rocked one time scared him enough. 1-2 misses low and inside, and it's now 2-2 to Xander Darby. I joked with him today in the outfield. I said, hey, maybe you should throw the curveball today, see if you lost it here, if you could get it back here. Laughed at that one, but I don't think he's throwing the curveball today. Here's the 2-2 to Darby. Lined up the middle, it gets through. Knight's going to come in to score, but they're going to hold the runner at third. Runners at the corners, and the inning continues. Still just one out as Darby gets his second hit of the inning, and he picks up his first RBI today. Darby reaching base safely in all 4 plate appearances. 2 walks, 2 singles. Dimitru at third. At first is Darby. They throw back to first, and they're safe is Darby. Brady Lavoie at the plate. You got to think that Darby is going to take off towards second base at some point. Nothing to lose. 11-0 Corvallis leads. Swing and a miss from Lavoie. 0-1. Brady Lavoie up for the second time in this inning. His first time up, he crushed a ball to left field. You can see on the live stream where it says All Pro Property Services. Crushed it over that wall. Pitch is in there for a strike, and there was Darby heading to second. 0-2 the count, but now 2 runners in scoring positions for the Corvallis Knights. To the count, Furman ahead. He comes set at the waist, kicks and fires. Fouled off by Lavoie, just got a piece of it. Do the 0-2 again. The shade now has come in and covered the field here in Corvallis. Begins to get later. Off speed, swung on and missed. And that'll do it for Lavoie. Furman picks up the first strikeout of the day for him. The second out is finally recorded.
Sound brings up your third baseman now from Oregon State University. Please welcome number 8, Eli Kennel.
So here's Eli Kennel up for the second time this inning. 4th time overall today. He singled earlier in this inning and came around to score. Prior to that, he had an RBI on a sac fly and a ground out. Has a chance for more RBIs here. First pitch to him, misses. 1-0. So I mentioned it, Kennel, he's going to be roommates with Cannon Reeder next year. Kennel originally from Monmouth, Oregon, Reeder from Bend, Oregon, so a couple of local products staying in the Beaver State. Going to be playing for the Beavers. Pitch outside, 2-0 to Kennel. Yesterday, Reeder, he hit 2 doubles. And Kennel yesterday was playing at second base, and Cannon Reeder's dad was telling me that it's really funny because on one of the doubles, Reeder slid in safely to second and then patted Kennel on the back. A little bit of jarring between the two. As Kennel slaps this towards left field deep, going back towards the track is Kleckner, and it's on the top of the wall over. Eli Kennel goes opposite field. It's a 3-run shot, and this disastrous inning continues for the Drifters.
Please welcome to this ballpark from USC wearing number 30.
It's a 14-0 game. Corvallis has put up a 10 spot on the Drifters here in the bottom of the 6th. brings up a pinch hitter, Luco DePaulo. First pitch to DePaulo misses, 1-0. So DePaulo comes in for Tyler Quinn, who today was 1 for 2 with an RBI single back in the second. He also scored earlier this inning. DePaulo grounds it to the left side softly. Hellman comes in, cuts it off, throws to first, and he gets the catcher. And that'll do it for the bottom of the 6th inning. 10 runs come in for Corvallis. 14-0 they lead. We head to the 7th inning. Drifters coming up to hit.
Join us for the 2nd annual Ironhead Roofing Knights Open on Monday, July 18th at the Corvallis Club. Sign up to play or be a full sponsor and join us for a day full of Knights fun out on the course.
Fans, this is Corvallis head coach Brooke Knight. Just as a reminder, for your own personal safety, please be aware that a ball or bat may leave the playing field at any time and enter the spectator areas. Please pay attention while you're enjoying the game. Thank you.
We want to push the bounds of what cider can be, and we want to open up the cider world to people that might not have tried cider before. Our mission is really to bring cider back to people.
Now batting for the Drifters, the third baseman, number 37, Dominic Hellman.
Top of the 7th inning, and the Drifters trail 14-0 as Dominic Hellman looks at the first pitch to him from Feist. Misses, 1-0. Springfield today, just one hit since the first inning. It was a single from Taylor Holder back in the 4th, but since then, they've gone chalk. Hellman looks at the second pitch. It's called a strike, and it's 1-1. Dominic Hellman today, 0 for 2 with 2 flyouts. Still looking for that first home run from him. He's a guy that really has some pop on the bat. Watches a pitch in there for a strike, 1-2. I kid you not, literally watching his first ever batting practice, he sent about 3 of the first 5 pitches he saw over the wall. This kid has just natural power. Grounds it to the left side, fielding it as Kennel. He'll fire it over to first and gets Hellman. First out is recorded here in the top of the 7th. So we'll bring up Taylor Holder, who is yet to get out today. A walk in the 2nd and a single in the 4th, and his return back to his hometown of Corvallis. Nobody on, 1 out, top of the 7th. Corvallis leading 14-0 after a 10-run bottom of the 6th. In there for a strike, 0-1 to Holder. They batted through the lineup, and then 4 more batters came up again. Darby got up twice, Lavoie got up twice, Kennel up twice. Then DePaulo finally came up, pinch hit for Tyler Quinn, and he ultimately grounded out to end the inning. Overall, 13 batters for Corvallis in the inning. Drifters gave up 10 runs. This Holder fouls it off, 1-2. Going because it is the first year of the program, it is a franchise high in runs given up all time. So that's a new record for the Drifters. Not really a great record you want to have. Holder hits this in the air, foul territory, a fly ball. Romero grabs. And the second out is recorded. Holder retired for the first time today. This brings up Nate Stevens. Stevens today 0 for 2.
There's the catcher, number 18, Nathan Stevens.
Stevens still trying to find his rhythm with Springfield. They put him in the cleanup spot yesterday. It didn't really pay off, and they moved him down in the order today. It's the first pitch to him is called a strike, 0-1. A look at the second pitch and actually swings through it. That was a ball low. 0-2, and man, he's been golfing at some pitches. He has 18 strikeouts overall in the year, and right now it just seems like he's struggling to see the ball. He's only had one hit since June 11th. As he watches a pitch outside 1-2. That one hit was just a single. It was against Walla Walla in that 1-0 loss in Game 2 of that series on Saturday. 2-2 in the count now to Nate Stevens. 2 outs, top of the 7th. 14-0, Corvallis leads. Neil Feist on the mound, working in his second inning of relief. Man, it seems like forever ago he came out for his first inning, replacing Jesse Barron, who threw 5 scoreless. And Stevens will go down swinging. That's strikeout number 19 on the year for Nate Stevens. 1, 2, 3, they go in order in the 7th. We head to the bottom half of the 7th inning. 14-0 Corvallis leads. You're watching the Springfield Drifters here on the Drifters live stream.
I think it's time for the 7th inning stretch. Let's stand up, stretch it a bit. Here we go.
New pitcher on the mound for the Springfield Drifters as the first pitch from Parker Goins misses away. 1-0 to Ethan Lovelace. 14-0. That's the score right now. A 10-run bottom of the 6th. Goins fouls off, or gets this one to foul off from Lovelace. Lovelace pinch hitting for Jonah Advincula. Advincula was the leadoff man in center field, and now they're putting in Lovelace, who was the left fielder yesterday for the Corvallis Knights. The 1-1 high. It's now 2-1 from Parker Goin. Advincula today, a 2-for-4 day with 2 singles and a run. Also had a stolen base last inning in the 6th. Two-one misses, and it's now 3-1 to Ethan Lovelace. So Goins replaces Daniel Furman, who got all 3 outs last inning. Overall, he came in for Trevor Hammond. He got 1 out on a fielder's choice. Then he let up a double. Then he let up a triple home run, a 3-run home run that is, as Lovelace gets called with the strike. 3-2 to him. So 2 hits for Foreman. 2 runs came in, as one of the runs on the home run didn't really count to him. It went to Trevor Hammond, who overall gave up 6 runs. Now Parker Goin on the mound. Fouled away, Lovelace will stay alive. Trevor Hammond hadn't given up a single run all season with Springfield, and he gave up 6. He didn't even record an out. That's going to really, really inflate his ERA. Skied in the air by Lovelace. Jalen Ray, the shortstop, drifting into center field, but Reeder, the center fielder, calls him off. First out is recorded on a pop-up here in the bottom of the 7th. Brings up Spencer Scott, the shortstop. Nope. It's going to be another pinch hitter. It's going to be Timo Becerra. Pitch comes in, misses, and it's 1-0. Going in the windup. Here's the pitch to Becerra. Misses, 2-0. So we saw Becerra yesterday for the Corvallis Knights and got the start at third base. Went 0 for 3. Dropped his batting average down to .217 overall. There's the 2-0. Misses, 3-0 now to Becerra. Becerra, a Stanford product, playing his baseball at the farm. Here's the 3-0. In there for a strike. 3-1 now. Parker Goin. This is his 3rd game in WCL play. His last game in WCL play, all the way back June 12th against Wenatchee. 3-1, grounded left side. Jalen Ray, the shortstop, comes in, picks it up, fires a bullet over to first. Cade Chris now in the game makes the catch at first. That'll bring up Kiko Romero. So Dodge got the game started at first base, and now Cade Christ is in the game. Jake Dodge was 0 for 3 today, so that ends his hit game streak. He had a hit in every single game except for the very first one in WCL play. Here's Kiko Romero with 2 outs as the pitch bounces in from Goin. 1-0. Parker Goin, this is his 3rd outing in WCL play that we were talking about. His first one since June 12th. In that June 12th game, he allowed 3 earned runs on 6 hits and 3 1/3. The first start against Cowlitz, 2 runs on 2 hits as Romero hits this one high in the air towards left center field. In the alley, Reeder's back and making the catch against the wall. And Romero flies out 1-2-3 inning for Parker going. We head to the 8th inning, 14-0 Corvallis leads. You're watching the Springfield Drifters here on the Drifters live stream.
Hey kids, do you want to run the bases after the game? Head down to the third baseline and meet us near the team store. And don't forget to grab an autograph sheet from the night staffer, courtesy of Old Spaghetti Factory, and get some autographs for your favorite Knights.
Please welcome from Lipscomb, number 41. Here's Caleb. Here's Tola on the hill for you. Now batting for the Drifters, the second baseman, number 16, Trevor Antonson.
Top of the 8th inning, 14-0. Corvallis leads the Springfield Drifters. It was a 10-run bottom of the 6th that really busted open this game. Trevor Anderson comes in to face off against the new pitcher and Caleb Cantola, as the first pitch is a strike from Cantola. 0-1. Sun beginning to set here in Corvallis, and man, it is gorgeous right now. Cantola fires a ball, and it's 1-1. The weather today has been pretty good. Not a cloud in the sky. It wasn't hot. And now the entire field is shaded. Sun getting to set a little bit closer, and now Anson watches it, and I think it clipped the umpire. Andrew Mervin, the umpire behind the plate. Billy Yeager sprinting in, the field umpire, to go check on Mervin. Yeager's actually a replacement. There was supposed to be another umpire here today. He got injured, and so Yeager came in, and now Mervin, the pitcher or umpire behind the plate, looks like he's shaken up a little bit after that pitch clipped him. Caleb Cantola, the right-handed pitcher from Monmouth, Oregon, so teammates with Eli Kennel. They were there at Central High School. Central High School is actually right in between Independence and Monmouth, Oregon. Hence the name Central High School. Both those towns are actually really, really nice. Cantola, 6'7", 200 pounds. Man, that's a long reliever right there. Goes to Lipscomb. Umpire seems to be okay. Lipscomb University all the way in Nashville. It's the A Division I school, member of the ASUN. Three-one the count now to Trevor Anson as that pitch missed low. Cantola going to be a junior there at Lipscomb next year. But he made the transition all the way from Oregon to Nashville. 3-1 to Anson, misses high. And the Drifters have a runner here in the 8th. We'll bring up Cannon Reader. A little bit of a discussion happening now. Yoongjin Yoon out there talking with the pitcher in Cantola. So here's Cannon Reader. Runner at first. Cannon Reader today 0 for 2. It was only his 3rd time up. Springfield today just 3 hits. 2 of them came in the first. Just not been their day offensively. Reader flies this one towards the right side. Dropping fast, but making the catch along the line is Lavoie, the right fielder. First out's recorded here in the top of the 8th. So bring up Cole Kleckner now. Anson leads off from first, top of the 8th inning, 14-0. Corvallis leads the Springfield Drifters. Gets past the catcher. DePaulo can't get that one, and heading over to second is Anson. Drifters have a runner in scoring position. Kleckner at the plate so far today. Strikeout looking and ground out and fly out. The 1-0. Grounded up the middle. It's going to get through. They're going to wave Anson. Fielding it in center field. And not making a throw is Loveless. Anson comes in to score on the RBI hit from Cole Kleckner. The Drifters get one across here in the 8th. It's 14-1 Corvallis, though. Not a lot of positives today for the Drifters, but so far they're winning the 8th inning, and I'll take that W. First pitch to Jalen Ray outside, 1-0. Jalen Ray, 1 for 3. He had a hit. One of the rare Drifters players to have a hit today. That hit, though, all the way back in the first. Him and Jordan Justice, who's on deck, were the two that had those 2 hits in the first. Ray fouls this one off. 1-1. So since that first inning, Taylor Holder, who had a single in the 4th, and now Cole Kleckner here in the 8th. The only 2 Drifters with hits. Here's the 1-1. Ray looks at it, called the strike, 1-2. Caleb Cantola, he was the Oregon 5A Pitcher of the Year in 2019. Sure, he actually got to pitch against Cade Chris. Off speed, high, 2-2. Cade Chris, he played 5A baseball in the state of Oregon at Thurston High School. Thurston, they were in the playoffs, I'm pretty sure, in 2019. Here's the 2-2. Ray stays alive, fouls it back. See another pitch. 1 run in this inning for Springfield on the RBI hit from Cole Kleckner. Finally got a run across for Springfield, but they're trailing 14-0. Their heads held low after a 10-run bottom of the 6th for Corvallis. Ray fouls it off and stays alive. And Jalen Ray is a guy that really battles in at bats. He's striking out only 6 times on the season. This is his 39th at bat overall. 2-2. Over his head. Count is full now to Jalen Ray. 1 out, runner at first, and Cole Kleckner. Top of the 8th inning. It's a new pitcher on the mound in Caleb Cantola. And he's fared the worst out of all Knights pitchers tonight. Ray fouls it off. Stay alive. Man, he's really battling in this at bat. I'll say this is a W2 for Jalen Ray. I mean, we're really nitpicking, trying to find positives tonight. Say Jalen Ray fouling off 3 balls with 2 strikes here in the 8th inning. 3-2. Ray lined, fielding it on 1 hop and sliding as the shortstop. I believe there's a new shortstop in the game from Spencer Scott. So Becerra is there at shortstop, and he was the one that made that nice play. Flipped it to second, got Kleckner out there, but Ray beat out the throw at first. Springs up Jordan Justice, runner at first, 2 outs, top of the 8th. Pitch gets behind the new catcher, and DiPaolo. Advancing over to second is Ray. 1-0 the count to Jordan Justice. See if the Drifters can get their second RBI hit of the game. Trailing by 13 as the sun begins to set a little bit more here in Corvallis. Attendance tonight, 1,095. Really good crowd for the Knights. Justice swings right through it. 1-1. I'd say that the lower bowl here in Corvallis was pretty much filled. I've seen the stadium a little bit more full, but it is a midweek game on a Wednesday. Jordan Justice gets this through the 5-6 hole. They're waving Ray. He'll come in, head first sliding safely. Jordan Justice, an RBI single. Gets the second run of the game for Springfield. They now trail by 12, 14-2. Second RBI single of the inning for Springfield, and it'll bring up Cade Christ. So here's the guy that I was talking about. Wonder if him and Caleb Cantola have played against each other before, both being 5A guys in the state of Oregon. First pitch to Chris, inside, 1-0. Cade Chris comes in for Jake Dodge after his 0-for-3 day. As Chris watches a pitch inside, almost brushed him up. 2-0. Cade Chris, overall on the year, right up there with Jake Dodge on top batting averages for the Springfield Drifters. The 2-0, Chris hits this in the air towards the right side. Foul. 2-1. Cade Chris, 289 batting average. 4 doubles, including a double in that last game against Corvallis last night. He got the start. He doubled and then came in to score, so really impressive stuff for him. Continues a good summer ball season as he's looking for a new home. Plays at Tacoma Community College, but he's pretty much gotten his AA and needs the transfer. In there for a strike, 2-2. He has more eligibility, and he could go back to Tacoma, but at that point, he's taken so many classes at TCC that he'd only be taking basically 1 credit. He needs to go to a 4-year university. He needs to get that 4-year degree now. Here's the 2-2. Chris sends this towards left field. It's hit hard, but going back and making the catch is Dimitru at the track on the run. Chris is retired after he buried up a ball, but 2 runs come in the inning for Springfield. They get 2 hits in the inning as well. Actually, 3 hits in the inning for Springfield. And a very eventful inning offensively for the Drifters this time. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning. 14-2 the score. Parker going back on the mound for the Drifters. You're watching the Drifters here on the Drifters live stream.
Hey fans, make plans to attend free ticket night on August 4th, presented by Wilson Motors. Stop by Wilson Motors on 5th and Buchanan and grab your free general admission ticket. And while you're there, check out their great selection of Ford, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram vehicles. Wilson Motors, the exclusive auto dealer of the Corvallis Knights. Here's the familiar 13 coming up now. Your designated hitter from the University of Maryland. Here he is. Say it with me.
Bottom of the 8th inning, 14-2 the score. Parker going back on the mound. Thank you guys for sticking with us today. We know that there's been a few technical difficulties as Briley Knight sends one deep to right field off the wall. He's digging for 2. The throw coming in from right field to Holder, and Briley Knight's into second base safely with a leadoff double for the Corvallis Knights. Corvallis saw Springfield score 2 runs in the top of the 8th, and Briley Knight was at least a little bit extra motivated on that at bat. Big hit for him. Gets his first hit back in a Knights uniform. It's a good one, a double. Springs up Titus Dimitru, left fielder from Lynn Benton Community College. Parker going, steps off the mound. Now we want to talk to Stevens. But again, we thank you guys for sticking with us today. We understand there's been a few technical difficulties going off air a couple of times due to this Wi-Fi, but it's our first time on the road, and we're glad that we're here. We're glad that we're going to get to travel a little bit more. We'll be in Yakima this weekend. Looking forward to that one. It's going to be a busy stretch for the Drifters. They have 3 games in Yakima after tomorrow's game in Springfield against the Knights. Then they come home immediately after that game on Sunday. They play Sunday at 6 o'clock against Yakima Valley. They drive all night and then play 6 o'clock the next day against Victoria. 9 games in 9 days for the Drifters as the pitch misses outside. 1-0 to Dimitru. Got a feel for the players. I mean, as a broadcaster, I'm thinking 9 games in 9 days. Man, my voice is going to be sore. These players, they actually have to play the game. Ball bounces in, 2-0. We'll see how many players actually play all 9 games. I don't know if a single one is going to play all 9. But I'll be calling all 9. True warrior I am. Grounded left side, foul. Dimitru had a double earlier in the game that he absolutely ripped. That was back in the 6th. Brought in a run. Now he's back up again. Could drive in another run at Briley Knight, at second base. It's a mouthful. Briley. First time hearing that first name as well. Going, drops a curveball that gets past Stevens at the plate. 3-1. For those watching today, feel free to comment any questions you have or just let us know where you're watching from. Love to make this live streaming experience a little bit more personal with you guys at home. I know a lot of the family members are watching. I'd like to get to know you guys a little bit better. And Dimitro's aboard with a walk. So 2 men are aboard now for the Corvallis Knights here in the bottom of the 8th. Brings up Xander Darby again.
Up here now from UCSB is your second baseman. We're in the dozen. Please welcome Xander Darby.
Xander Darby today is up for the 5th time. He's yet to get out. 2 walks, 2 singles, including an RBI single in the 6th, when he came up to the plate twice in 1 inning. Goins spikes a pitch. 1-0 to Darby. 14-2, Corvallis leads here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Parker going, just looking to get out of this inning. Let Springfield come up to bat. It's been a long one for sure. Pitch inside, 1-0. And this is Parker Goins' first WCL game since June 12th. Grounded foul from Darby, 1-1. Gotta think maybe he hasn't seen WCL batters in a while or just really hasn't seen the bump in a while. He's having a hard time locating his pitches here in the 8th. He had a 1-2-3 7th. That was the plus. The 2-1 misses. 3-1 now. Parker going from Pierce College. Talked about it earlier this year. Pierce has some of the coolest community college uniforms that you can see. Look like a blast from the past. Looking like the Phillies' old uniforms with the baby blue. Rope to right. I think that one's gone. No, making the catch along the wall is Holder. Jumped up and robbed that one, but man, Darby smoked that to right. Holder hopping on the wall, making the catch. And it'll bring up Brady Lavoie, tagging from second to third as Knight. That was my bad. Heck of a play, though, and right.
Number 23, Brady Lavoie.
Here's Brady Lavoie. Darby finally retired for the first time today. Someone that didn't get one out of the park is Brady Lavoie at the plate. A 2-run shot in the 6th. First pitch to him, in there for a strike, 0-1. Lavoie, he was the guy that took out Trevor Barth. Barth allowed a single and then the home run to Lavoie, and they took him out of the game. The 0-1, Goins spiked it. 1-1. Man, he just cannot find that curveball right now. I think that's the 3rd time he spiked it in there. One the count. Runners at the corners. Corvallis leads 14-2 in the bottom of the 8th. There's the pitch. Fouled back. Stevens catches it. 1-2. Brady Lavoie making the transition from the West Coast to the East Coast. Lavoie originally from California, now plays at North Carolina State. Now has a 2-2 count. Spent his freshman year at Palomar College in San Marcos, California, before transferring over to North Carolina State. Just made 9 appearances this past year, only 2 starts. And he's rung up. Second out is recorded. Parker going, gets a strikeout looking. And it brings up Eli Kennel.
Now your third baseman, please welcome number 8, Eli Kennel.
First strikeout for Parker going, and here's Eli Kennel. Kennel hit a 3-run shot his last time at the plate. Lefty stands in. He just slapped that ball to left field. Been a few opposite field hits today for Corvallis. This misses away, and it's 1-0 now to Kennel. The wind, though, is blowing out to left field, and so if you're going to hit a ball here, it is going to go to left field. The right field is a little bit of a short corner, it feels like. Still shocked that Darby didn't get that one over the wall. Holder, heck of a job jumping up there. 2-0 now to Eli Kennel. Parker going, just needs one more out. 14-2, Corvallis leading. Runners at the corners. So far in this inning, Briley Knight led off with a double. Mitru walked. Darby flew out, and Lavoie struck out. This one from Kennel is going to be hit out towards right field. Holder over, makes the catch, and the inning is over. Just the one hit from Briley Knight. 2 runners are left stranded, and the Springfield Drifters finally win an inning. They win the 8th inning, 2-0. We head to the 9th, 14-2, Corvallis leads. You're watching the Springfield Drifters here on the Drifters live stream.
We've got a categories game today, and category is going to be candy. I've got Caitlin here, and she's going to play against Jaden Harris to see if she can name the most amount of candy. Are you ready? Yes, I'm ready. Hershey's Kiss. Skittles. Fruit Roll-Ups. Airheads Extreme. Rolos. Starburst. M&M's. Reese's. Three Musketeers. Snickers. Sweet Tarts. Payday. All right, she got 12. Let's see if you can beat Jaden Harris.
Snickers, Hershey's, Hershey's milk chocolate, Hershey's dark chocolate, Hershey's white chocolate, Hershey's cookies and cream, Snickers with almonds, Milky Way, sour gummies, sour worms, sour frogs, licorice.
Oh, it's a tie. All right. Well, thank you to Benson's Terrier for sponsoring our on-street nights game.
We offer in-house installation or advice for your DIY project. Come visit our showroom behind Big 5 Sports in Corvallis. Benson's Interior is your local.
Now pitching for your Knights, please welcome number 22 from LBCC, Chase Reynolds.
Top of the 9th inning, 14-2. Corvallis leads the Springfield Drifters. Chase Reynolds, a new pitcher on the mound. He'll replace Caleb Cantola, who gave up 2 runs in that top of the 8th inning. Here's Dominic Hellman now, still searching for his first hit in his first game as a Springfield Drifter. Already, Reynolds wants to go talk things over with his catcher, DePaulo. The bright spot today, that 8th inning for Springfield. They scored 2 runs, didn't give up a single run in the bottom of the 8th. 14-2 the score. 10-run bottom of the 6th inning for Corvallis. And if Corvallis was angry about the result yesterday, they really let it all out in that 6th inning. Hellman fouls this one back. 0-1. Sun almost set here in Corvallis. About 2.5 hours into this game. The 0-1, Hellman looks at, misses, and it's 1-1. So Hellman just showed up to the team yesterday, got the day off. He's an infielder, but because he got the day off, he was fielding fly balls in the outfield, and it was fun watching a 6'6" guy do that. Big hack for him there, and he swung right through it. Whew. 1-2. Man, he was really swinging for the fences. I mean, he swings for the fences in every single at-bat during batting practice. But so far today, hitless. He has made contact, sent the ball into the outfield. Just gets a piece of that one. See the 1-2 again. Hellman, a third baseman. Man, he has a stance that kind of reminds me of Evan Longoria, the Giants' third baseman right now. It's a little bit of an open stance. The left foot rattles the bat a little. Waits on a pitch and lines it to left center field. It gets down. Fielding it in center is the new center fielder Loveless. Sliding in safely in second base is Dominic Hellman. And his first hit as a Drifter is a double here in the ninth.
Now batting for the Drifters, the right fielder number 30, Taylor Holder.
Finally, Hellman gets one to drop in the outfield. Bring up Taylor Holder, who's made a couple of great plays today defensively. He had a diving full front play in right field earlier in the game, as well as catching one on the wall, hopping up and making the catch last inning. Cuts right through it. 0-1. So it's a good return to Corvallis for Taylor Holder. He had the single and walk earlier. Just has gotten out once on a fly out back in the 7th. A couple of nice diving plays and fielding plays in the outfield. He'll line this one to left field. It gets down. They're going to wave Hellman. Holder going to stop at first. It's an RBI single for the Corvallis native. And have a day, Taylor Holder. I think that Richards may have just gotten ejected. Or not sure what exactly happened, but the Corvallis Knights team all started cheering. Richards was out talking with the umpire, and then he got sent back to the dugout with the Knights and their fans cheering. But a run comes in, and it's 12-3. Swing and a miss from Nate Stevens. 0-1. I'm not sure what happened. Either way, Holder an RBI single. It's a heck of a way to get back to your hometown. It's a 2-for-3 day with an RBI now. Stevens watches a pitch outside, 1-1. Stevens today 0-for-3 with a strikeout looking. So Taylor Holder, he's in the transfer portal right now. Today's a good game if you're looking to potentially send that to a future college. 1-1 though to Stevens. Although the rest of the team really hasn't been there. 14-2 or 14-3 rather, Corvallis leads. Stevens looks at a pitch that misses, 3-1. Chase Reynolds, the new pitcher. He'll come set. Here's the 3-1. Stevens looks at, and he's aboard with a walk. Man, he hucked that bat back to the dugout. He's happy to be aboard today. Moves Holder over to second. Still nobody out here in the top of the ninth.
Second baseman number 16, Trevor Anderson.
So here's Trevor Anson. Chase Reynolds still hasn't gotten an out. Double to Hellman, single to Holder, and now a walk to Stevens. Anson up now 0 for 2 with a walk. Anson flares this in foul territory. First base side. Romero comes over, catches it. One pitch, one out to Trevor Anson.
Now batting for the Drifters.
We'll bring up Cannon Reeder.
Cannon Reeder.
Runners at first and second, one out, top of the ninth. 14-3 the score, 14-2 the score. Actually, 2 outs. So I think what happened is they called Hellman out at the plate. So Richards wasn't ejected, as the pitch runs inside 1-0. So Hellman's out at the plate. Maybe he just did not step on the plate. I'm not sure. 2 outs now. The Drifters down to their final strike. I'll have to receive clarification on that. The scoreboard's been funky. They first put 3 runs in the 8th. I don't know how they went back to the 8th inning and changed it as this one misses. 2-0. Then they put 2 runs in the 9th, made it 14-4, and now it shows 14-2 with 2 outs. So I'm thinking that Hellman was out. Now there's runners at first and second. Cannon Reeder with the 2-0 count. Here's the pitch. Holder grounds it to third. Kennel makes a nice play, taps on third, and that'll do it for us here in Corvallis. Cannon Reeder rounds out to his future teammate and roommate, Eli Kennel. 14-2 the final. Corvallis able to come back and win game number 2 of the series, and it was all set up from that 10-run 6th inning. The Drifters just could not get an out, and ultimately 10 runs came in. They fell behind at that point 14-0, and I don't know if any team can come back from 14-0 in the 7th inning. It was a tough one overall. The Drifters drop it. They'll be back in action tomorrow against Corvallis for Game 3 of the 3-game series. It'll be back in Springfield. That game going to be at 6:35. We'll be back on the Pixelot camera, so we'll have the 2-camera setup for you at home. But the Drifters fall here in Corvallis, 14-2. Not really a lot of positives. I will say that the positive today was the 8th inning. They won 2-0 that 8th inning. And that's what you got to say about this game. 14-2 the final. We'll see you guys in Springfield tomorrow at 6:35. It's been a pleasure from here in Corvallis for our first ever road broadcast. My name is Knight Uretsky. See you tomorrow. So long and have a great night.